If there's one character who reeks of sheer charismatic badassery, it's none other than Kuze Daisaku, played by the legendary actor of equal sheer charismatic badassery, that being Hitoshi Ozawa. For a lot of people, Yakuza 0 was their first entry in the franchise. That means Kuze was their first true, real boss, and what a first impression he makes. Join me as we celebrate 10 years of Yakuza 0, 20 years of Yakuza as a whole, and find ways to satiate those like myself who can't play the new director's cut. I just want to play as Kuze, dang it. If you're new to my channel and enjoy this video, be sure to check out my 15th anniversary celebration of Yakuza 4, and buy Tanimura Files the complete series. Now, let's get into the Yakuza life and see what makes Kuze unique amongst all other antagonists.
なるようになっちまうもんだな。
Part 1. His genuine charisma. Charisma can go a long way if you keep it genuine, and for a guy that was an intimidating lieutenant at first, the more you fight him, the better you get to understand him. Kiryu was already a guy who would never back down from the start of Yakuza 0, and before it, considering the 1980 flashback in Yakuza 2, I say that fighting Kuze 5 times reinforced Kiryu's resilience and dominability, and ultimately his passion by the time that final confrontation rolls around. And for Kuze himself, well, fighting Kiryu may have started off as fighting some punk kid that genuinely pissed him off, yet by that final confrontation, he learned something as well. From my perspective, Kuze learned that there are still guys like him out there who are willing to take things into their own hands and not be afraid to get dirty. The acknowledgement that there are still new guys who are willing to stick it out to the last bell and come back stronger than any definitive winner, no matter how outmatched they are in the end. Sure, Kuze may be a rough bad guy who had no problem killing or being involved in homicide, but his innate character besides the violent Yakuza and boxer lifestyles was one that you just can't find anywhere. By that I mean he's the kind of old guy antagonist that you start to admire the more he comes back to fight. He's not at all a sinister figure, like other major villains in the franchise, nor is there a slimy one that needs others to fight for him. If I had to illustrate this point another way, just look at how Kuze was willing to chop off his own damn pinky finger. Chop chop. Then for Kiryu, he learned that the Yakuza may not be all they're cracked up to be. For younger guys like him, any group of men that apparently dress and act cool will seem appealing, but once you're one of them, you're expected to act and behave a certain way. And what's the point in all of that? For Kiryu, by battling Kuze several times, he learned what can truly make a man stand out from the rest. Joining a group and going through whatever torture, initiations, or whatever cultural norm is one thing, but ultimately a true passing of the gate into adulthood is sticking it to everyone while being yourself. That's the key here, and is one of the lessons both Kiryu and Majima learned by the time Yakuza 0's credits roll. Kuze may have been a big lieutenant of the Dojima family, but him being thrown in jail after that final Kiryu fight was probably for the better, since eventually he'd be able to live a normal life. We all know Kuze would survive prison, come on now, he's a beast. And after that normal life, he can go off the radar and such. Sure, the baggage of any prequel, no matter how good it is that, well, you have to explain where prequel characters were in future main installments. While I wish Kuze at least got a memoir, reflection in Yakuza 8, at least we get to fight him once again in Ishin Kawami. No matter what, Kuze's way of speaking and attitude towards others makes him a wonderful character you can't forget, thanks to Ozawa's performance and distinct voice, plus his years of portraying characters in other crime-related media. He's able to slip seamlessly into the role of Kuze. There's only a handful of guys that remind me of Kuze in terms of having that charisma. 3 that I can name of are Ryuji, Ratase, and Soma. Now, you might have to grab a snack, because I'm going to show you a little life hack I learned from Kuze himself. Interlude time. If you go to Hitoshi Ozawa's YouTube channel, you'll find a goldmine of cool random things he does in his signature badassery. Back in my college days, I found a life hack he made where you can make a pretty tasty fried rice with only a couple ingredients. College students already love ramen cups, and that is an ingredient you'll need. Check out this clip I made where I dive into replicating the recipe showed off on his YouTube shorts. He calls it the cup noodles fried rice, and I just knew I had to try it myself. You need any ramen cup brand you like, one whole egg, and a small bowl of steamed rice. You gotta pour the uncooked ramen noodles into a plastic bags, then crush them up with beast style, maybe a rush combo in there for good measure. Next, pour the crushed noodles back into the ramen cup and put hot water in it like normal. I use a Keurig since I'm a primate acting like a human. Then, get a frying pan and start scrambling that fried egg. I tried to emulate Ozawa's forehead egg cracking technique, but I didn't have my heat bar filled in time. After that, add your steamed rice and eventually that crushed ramen from earlier. Once that's all done cooking together, you've got yourself a little fried rice meal perfect for a life hack when you want to spice up whatever ingredients you have lying around. For me, I love throwing in a bunch of hot sauces. Yummy! Part 2. The Enma Irezumi. Known as the Enma in Japanese Buddhism, or the Yama in traditional Buddhism, Kuze's back Irezumi represents the king of hell. That deity is like a judge, centered on the back, and glaring directly at whoever gazes at him. If being the king of hell doesn't describe a character judging someone, then I don't know what else will. The Enma is one of those Irezumis that definitely tell a story just by studying it, all thanks to the brilliant work of series artist Horitomo. Then the right arm has an orangish horse warrior holding a sword, then the left arm has a green bull ox warrior holding some type of club weapon. These figures may be servants to the Enma, and are known as Mezu for the horse and Gozu for the ox, respectively. One detail I noticed this time were the two dark blue skulls. There's one on each side of Kuze's chest. It reminds me of Minami's Irezumi just a little bit, although the one on Kuze's right side, that skull, is missing its lower jaw. Interesting detail that I'm not sure what to make of. Maybe if somebody was judging a different way in hell, they receive a different punishment, worse punishment maybe? All in all, Kuze's Irezumi is certainly a sprawling one and is wonderfully aggressive. The second he shows it off, it's one you can't forget. I definitely can't forget it. It's one of my favorites in the franchise. And Kuze's design falls into the more humanoid variety that showcases deities or fable figures. So he's in the same category as Awano, Majima, Daigo, Kanda, and Watase, and even a more recent antagonist like Abina. Surrounding these beautiful Irezumis, or in particular Kuze's Irezumi, is the Makiri, the black and white inking filling up the space between the main art. Much like when I discussed Shimano's Irezumi in my Tigers of Yakuza video essay from 2024, the Makiri is typically placed on the chest, arms, and back, kinda just fills up that space. This definitely makes Kuze's Irezumi reveal in his first fight hit even harder, much like his punches. All in all, his Irezumi is just a great aggressive design with really unique colors that correlate and complement each other at the same time. All in all, Kuze's Irezumi is one of my favorites of all time. Finale. So, as we talked about, fans like you viewer, love Kuze for good reason. From his Irezumi, to his demeanor, to his tenacity, and his two eternal boss themes, Kuze is a legendary staple of the franchise. By the time we have that final boss fight against him, his usual theme is switched with a more nuanced, less aggressive rendition of his Pledge of Demon theme, that now being Oath of Enma. And 10 years later, Hitoshi Ozawa has still got it. Sometimes casting the right actor can elevate a character to a greater concept than originally thought, or sometimes that celebrity casting can actually go perfectly right. And for Kuze, he was 10 billion% perfectly cast, alongside his two fellow lieutenants. Before I wrap up this reflection, I'll give you 3 characters I would like to see Kuze fight, just for fun. Like fights I'd forgo all logic, and simply grab a beer and point at the TV screen with pure caveman intelligence. First, Shishido. That'd be a fight I could say Kuze rising from the grave to teach a lesson too. Enma against Lion. Next, I'd pick Watase. I feel like his Azura Irezumi would visually complement and look badass against Kuze's Enma judge. Plus, I feel like those two would definitely fight each other out of respect. And lastly, I'd love to say Kuze do get with Ryuji. Who knows, maybe they fought in the 1980s when Ryuji was a Grande Megaton 6th grader. I can imagine those two fighting over a bento box and sake at a Pablo Mart. I know you can too. With all that analysis out of the way, I want you guys to let me know in the comments what you love about Kuze. Share this video to your fellow Yakuzers, and spread the gospel of Mr. Tiger Drop Films, cause I got more videos coming.